Hi, Allison. How you doing?
I'm good. I love that background.
Yeah, it looks kind of weird because it looks like Jay's about to eat me.
But like
But
we're both sort of devouring you. It's a
yeah,
little
I know.
scary.
Weird. This is what happens when I just grab a poster and put it up. I always do it for every interview, and it's
I love it.
sometimes it turns out like this. Uh, Thanks. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk with me about somebody I used to know. Yeah, I really enjoyed the film. I just watched it a couple of hours ago, actually.
Oh, great.
And yeah, and I think a lot of people saw it like I did the cute little Instagram post that you and Dave did before you put out the trailer. And which got me thinking about, because you guys are pulling from, past relationships, past encounters and things like that. What was it that that drove you into writing this story with Dave?
The first step was wanting to make something in the rom-com space, we love rom-coms. We especially love those rom-coms from the 80s and 90s. Those are like the comfort movies that we'll watch over and over and over. I probably know most of them by heart. Um, And so, but then there was this sort of like organic thing that happened, I think, where like we set out to make a really classic rom-com, but then we wanted to make sure that like the characters felt like they existed now and like they had seen all the rom-coms that we've seen. And how would they, what's the like realist, most grounded, honest way to show these people in these situations? And then what if we had no villains in the movie, and we want to make sure that every character has a complex backstory and they're all going through like a heightened emotional time together. What does that look like? And then Dave and I were home in his hometown and we were thinking about what that feels like going back home, seeing people from your past and what that brings up for people emotionally. So like all of these things just kind of were being mixed into the salad, and then the pandemic hit and we wrote this during lockdown and that too, it sort of like became this great time of self-examination, right? Of kind of like everybody sort of taking stock of their lives and we were trapped in our homes,
Yeah.
sort of being like, do I like where I live? Do I like the people that I that are in my life that I'm seeing every day? And then that sort of worked its way into the plot and sort of took hold as like kind of the main theme of
Yeah.
how do you how do you get back to the the truest version of yourself and how can you still go after things that you feel passionately about?
That was one of the things I was going to ask you about because I know you mentioned that you guys you guys love rom coms. It didn't always feel like a rom com to me because
Thank you.
I think we're all around the same age. So watching the film and seeing characters who have attained, I guess, kind of their version of success, like they feel like it seems like they found the thing that thought they were looking for, and then they kind of find an experience that makes them reevaluate that. I
Hmm.
thought was one of the more interesting aspects of the film,
Thank
that
you.
didn't quite feel true to rom-coms, felt like something greater.
Thank you. Yeah, at some point along the line, the movie sort of morphed into, even in our process of writing it, into more of an adult coming of age story, right? More of like, I think it came from the character of Cassidy, who we really set out to create a character who was going to break those rom-com tropes of the bride, right? And genuinely be like a real cool person that everybody likes. And once we started to do that with that character, we just sort of thought, how does that affect Allie's journey? How does seeing this person connect to these sides of her that she has sort of buried? And you're right in saying that, like, a lot of the characters in this movie have sort of rigidly defined themselves, right? They find themselves at this moment in their life where they go like, well, I've landed here and this is who I am. I've decided that. And then these things start to happen that shake that up, that question that. And Cassidy's a real disruptor, played beautifully by Kiersey Clemens, who brings such a exuberant and like exciting energy to that role. And that character sort of has everybody questioning it. Cause Sean too, right? He's like, this is the guy I am. These are the things I want. Um, and everybody has to kind of, by the end of the movie, have a moment of self-reflection, self-evaluation, um, kind of take stock of their own selfishness in some ways and be open to growing and changing.
Yeah, talk to me about starring with Jay Ellis in this. He's he's kind of red hot right now, coming off Top Gun, and everything. But it's like you guys have a really good chemistry together. Was that something that came easy? Was he someone that you always had in mind for the role?
Jay was at the top of our list, yes, and we got so lucky that he agreed to do the role. We were big fans of his from Insecure.
Mhm.
And I think when we were thinking about Sean as a character, like Allie, he makes some questionable choices in the film, and we really wanted his character to be redeemable. It was our challenge as writers, but we knew that casting was going to be a huge part of it. And Jay is so inherently lovable. He's genuinely a really good person, which is so nice, and incredibly handsome, which doesn't hurt. And he and I had never worked together, and honestly, it was one of those great, beautifully unexpected things where the chemistry was just there. He's so easy to be around and so funny, and just like yeah, ease is the word, I think. He has such an ease about him that he brought a great depth to Sean, I think, in helping the audience understand where that guy is coming from.
We were talking about my background here, which is a poster from the film. Looks like yours is too, but of a totally different scene in the movie. Talk to me about that day you were shooting the streaking scene, which is hilarious in the movie as well.
Oh yeah, that was a really fun day. I love to streak. That's why it's in the movie. We sort of drew upon my personal history with streaking for this nudity through line in the film. And shooting the streaking day was really fun. I think part of me felt excited and free as the character does. Part of me felt protective of Kiersey. We're like bonding over it. Also, I'm like a writer and producer on the movie, so I want to be like, and you're good? You feel good? Do you feel supported? What can we do? Look, I'll disrobe before you. Let's do it. But it was really fun. The funniest part was that day that we shot the streaking scene, we had already decided that we wanted one of the posters to be the streaking image. So we shot that scene, and then I just walked like to another part of the golf course that we were shooting on and did this like naked photo shoot with our on-set photographer for 30 minutes, half an hour, or an hour, just like running in slow motion around him. So that was a little surreal, but still pretty fun.
As a co-writer on the film as well, what are you hoping that people take from the film when they see it?
I hope that people are inspired to kind of evaluate their lives in this way, and figure out if they have lost a connection to anything that's bringing them joy, and hopefully they find that message is that it's never too late. It's never too late to get back in touch with your truest self. It's never too late to pursue one of your passions, even if it's just for fun and it's not about your career. I think that would be best case scenario, is people kind of like leaving the film looking inward and being like, oh, here's some things I could do to shake things up.
Well, Allison, this has been great. I appreciate you taking a few minutes with me. The film opens on Prime Video on February 10th. Am I correct about
Yes.
that? Yes, great. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.